The NASCAR Cup Series race has officially concluded from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and after a race that got delayed one day, we see Mark Truex Jr. put up a dominating clinic and win his first ever Cup Series race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race in New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Crayon 301 on Monday afternoon. We got quite a bit of talk from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So obviously we talked about this yesterday, but this race got postponed from Sunday to Monday. For the green flag drop in today's race, Kyle Busch would be the only driver to have to go to rear due to unimprovement adjustments after crashing in qualifying. So as our race, he had Christopher lead the field from the outside and Mark Truex Jr. lead from the inside. And we saw Mark Truex Jr. get a really strong start and was able to pass Christopher for the lead on lap number 2. Mark Truex Jr. continued to pull a pretty big lead. Christopher was keeping up with Mark Truex Jr. early, but Mark was starting to pull farther away, and he continued to lead. And the first caution race come out lap 28 for A.J. Allmendinger, who spun off at turn number 2, just got loose, didn't get damage on the car, but he would drop only a few positions from that, but just spun out and got loose. Because of that, that would be the competition caution. Then we saw a little bit of strategy where guys like Ricky Stenhouse Jr. decided to stay out, where everyone else came down pit road. William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell all took 2 tires while the rest leaders took 4. Austin Dillon will get a speeding penalty, and Corey LaJoie also get a speeding penalty as well. And Christopher had a terrible pit stop to drop him from 2nd to 11th position after having trouble on the right front. So then on the restart, you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. lead the field from the outside with William Byron on the inside, and Stenhouse had a terrible restart, and William Byron was able to pass for the race lead. William Byron lead for a few laps, and on lap 43, we saw Mark Truex Jr. able to pass William Byron back for the race lead, and Mark Truex Jr. would dominate, and coming off the final quarter, Mark Truex Jr. would win Stage 1 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Meanwhile, as they're coming to the end of Stage 1, Kyle Busch actually crashed going into the outside wall in turn number 1, and Corey LaJoie did the same thing. There might have been something on the racetrack, we're not entirely sure. Seemed like Kyle may have just gotten loose as well, but both LaJoie and Kyle Busch got a ton of damage. This took Kyle Busch out of contention. Kyle Busch was not having a good day anyways at the time, and this completely took him out of contention of contending for the victory. So then we saw basically all leaders come down pit road with everyone taking 4 tires. And we saw Todd Reddick actually get a speeding penalty on pit road. Meanwhile, Christopher actually had to come back down to pit for a second time after having a loose wheel. And then Kyle Busch also went to the garage due to the mechanical issues. So we went back racing. Mark Truex Jr. lead the field from the outside with William Byron on the inside. And we saw Mark Truex Jr. able to pass and clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs and Kevin Harvick had contact at turn number 2, and Ty Gibbs went up the racetrack, was able to save it, and we kept going. Meanwhile, Mark Truex Jr. continued dominating, and then we started seeing green flag pit stops happening in the middle stage number 2. First, Tyler Reddick, Ty Dillon came in. Then Chris Bell, William Byron, Bubba Walsh, Justin Haley, Kyle Larson all came down pit road. And there was some contact between William Byron and Justin Haley coming to pit road. That was on William Byron, unfortunately. Then the next lap, we saw guys like Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe come down. Then the next lap, you saw Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs come down pit road, and Cole Custer, who actually nearly had a flat tire, he came down pit road as well. She did have a flat tire and had to go to the garage. Then a few laps later, we saw Mark Truex Jr. He came down pit road, and eventually Eric Almirola and Daniel Suarez also came down pit road. As the race continued on, Mark Truex Jr. had about a 3-second lead over Eric Almirola, and Eric Jones, unfortunately, bring the next caution out lap 162 for spinning in turn number 4 from 23rd position. He was trying to run the higher grid that everyone was trying to run at the time, and would drop a ton of positions and spin out because of that. Then all lead lap cars would come down pit road after that, where Eric Almirola, Kyle Larson, and Joey Logano, they all decided to take 2 tires, while Mark Truex and the rest of the field took 4. So Eric Almirola actually won the race off pit road. Then we had a lot of guys take the wave around, including Harrison Burton, Chase Elliott, Justin Haley, Todd Gillen, and Austin Cindric all took the wave around. So then on the restart, Eric Almirola lead the field from the outside with Joe Logano on the inside. And Eric Almirola got a really strong restart, but unfortunately for Eric Almirola, trouble would strike. Going into turn number 2, he basically had a right rear wheel that basically came loose, and he crashed in the outside wall really hard, bringing out the caution. Really tough break for Eric Almirola. I think he had the best car outside of Mark Truex Jr. at the time and was going to be a contender to beat Mark Truex Jr. at the end of this race. But unfortunately, this took him out of contention and took him out of a chance to win this race. Tough break for Almirola. We don't know his future past the season. Really tough situation there. So then when the caution came out, Harrison Burton, Justin Haley, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon would all come down pit road after they basically took the way route. So then on the restart, Kyle Larson lead the field from the outside and Joe Logano on the inside, and Kyle Larson got a really strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead. But Kyle Larson got really tight and went up too high up on the racetrack going to turn number 4, and Mark Truex Jr. was able to pass Kyle Larson for the lead. Kyle Larson then in that same lap tried to get back by Mark Truex Jr., but they would not have anything for him. And coming off the final corner, Mark Truex Jr. would dominate and continue his domination and win stage number 2. Then we see all cars come down pit road. Mark Truex Jr. actually some guys coming down pit road. But guys like Mark Truex Jr., Joe Logano, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Brad Keselowski all decided to stay out. Well, guys basically like Kyle Larson and others behind him decided to come down pit road. So then on the restart, you have Mark Truex Jr. lead the field from the outside with Joe Logano on the inside, and Mark Truex Jr. got a really strong restart and was able to clear for the race lead, with Ryan Blaney passing Joe Logano for second. And at this point, Ryan Blaney was actually keeping up with Mark Truex Jr. He was trying different lanes. It seems like maybe some stuff was going away from Mark Truex Jr. at the time, and Ryan Blaney's able to keep up, but never was able to get close enough to make the pass. So then green flag pit stops would start happening on lap 236, with Ryan Blaney first coming down pit road. Then the next lap, you have Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott come down pit road. Then the next lap, Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs would come down pit road. And then the next lap, you saw Christopher Bell, Joe Logano, Justin Haley come down pit road. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick would stay out for a little bit to lead, and then he came down pit road. And then William Byron stayed out, came down pit road, and then eventually Austin Dillon, he came down pit road after Mark Truex Jr. got the lead. And then with 30 laps to go, the race would completely change. Mark Truex Jr. had about a 3-second lead over Kyle Larson, who actually got him past Ryan Blaney. Noah Gragson, unfortunately, turn number 2, very similar happened at Gateway about a month and a half ago. Noah Gragson would have a right front tire possibly come off at his car and basically hit the outside wall really hard, getting a ton of damage, bringing the caution out, changing the complexion of this race. Seemed like a bee might have broke on that car and a brake rotor might have failed, bringing out the caution. Then we see a little strategy during the caution where guys like Kevin Harvick and Austin Dillon stayed out while the rest leaders came down pit road. Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Joe Logano, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin all take 2 tires, while a lot of the rest of the guys, including Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher, would take 4 fresh tires. So on the restart with 23 laps to go, you had Kevin Harvick lead the field from the outside with Mark Truex Jr. on the inside, and Mark Truex Jr. got a really strong restart and was able to clear with Kevin Harvick and Austin Dillon for the lead. But Joe Logano was right behind Mark Truex Jr. and was keeping up with him. Then with 20 laps to go, another caution would come out for Alex Bowman, who quote-unquote spun and got contact from Ty Gibbs and Eric Jones. In my opinion, I don't know why that was a caution. He kept it straight. I feel like the race should have stayed green, but NASCAR threw the caution. They were a little trigger happy on the caution here. The caution came out because of that. So they went back racing on lap 286 with Mark Truex Jr. leading the field from the outside with Joe Logano on the inside, and Mark Truex Jr. was able to clear for the race lead and was pulling away from Joey Logano. But with 13 laps to go, the final caution race would come out for Christopher Bell, who got into the outside wall of turn number 3 really hard and backed it in there, bringing the final caution out after what looked like was going to be a great day for Bell. He struggled all day and crashed out of contention. And then with 8 laps to go in the race, you have Mark Truex Jr. lead the field from the outside, with Kyle Larson clearing the second on the inside, and Mark Truex Jr. got a really strong restart and was able to pull really far away. Then Joe Logano was able to eventually pass Kyle Larson for second. It looked like Mark Truex Jr. was easily going to win, and then coming basically down to 2 laps to go, Ty Gibbs got in the outside wall, but Luck was able to keep going. And at this point, Joe Logano was actually starting to catch Mark Truex Jr. about 0.2 of a second a lap. But he was really making up some really good ground on the outside. He was making big runs, but he was 0.6 back, was going to need to gain a lot. As it came to the white flag, Mark Truex Jr. had about a 0.6 of a second lead. Logano tried everything to catch him, but it would not be enough. And coming off the final corner, Mark Truex Jr. leads 254 of 301 laps and picks up his first ever win in the Cup Series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, his 3rd win of the 2023 season, and his 34th career NASCAR Cup Series victory. Absolutely well-deserved win. One of the most dominating wins we've seen probably in a while. Most dominating wins we've seen from Mark Truex Jr. this season, considering he dominated Sonoma like he did. This was an incredible day for Mark Truex Jr. I had a feeling going into this weekend that Mark Truex Jr. was going to be a threat. Martin was really strong here last year, led over 200 laps, but they made a really bad pit call last year. This year, they made all the right strategy calls, and it really played a role and a really big factor of him getting the victory. But he just had a great car all day. It was going to be really tough to beat him unless he had some major mistakes. But he does a really great job, dominates the day, and gets a well-deserved victory. Huge congratulations to Truex Jr. on picking up the victory. So now we're going to look at the race results, and I'll give you my score of today's race. So Truex Jr. picks up the victory. Joey Logano finished in second. Logano almost had a shot at beating Truex and must catch him near the end of the race. Logano struggled in the beginning, but they did a good strategy call in the middle that really helped him out. But gets a really strong top 5 finish. I know Logano's been up and down this year, but it's another great day for Joey Logano in second place. Kyle Larson finishes third for a car that was terrible in the beginning, that was back in 20th place. Getting a top 5 is really good for Kyle Larson. That's one thing that the 5 team has really struggled with this year, is being extremely consistent. And they did have inconsistency last week, crashing out. But another great day for Larson. He didn't really have anything for Truex Jr. Finishing the top 5. Great day for Kyle Larson. Kevin Harvick finishes 4th. A great day for Kevin Harvick. He had a bad pit stop on the green flag pit stop, but he bounced back, stayed out, and gets a very solid top 5 finish in his final run. I thought maybe he had something for Truex today, but he does finish in the top 5 nonetheless. Great run for Kevin Harvick in 4th place. Brad Keselowski finishes 5th. He had a really strong day, in my opinion. Ran top 5 and top 10 pretty much all day long. The 6 team is getting stronger and stronger. I wonder if Keselowski would get a win soon. I thought maybe he'd have a chance today. Nonetheless, a fantastic day for Brad Keselowski in 5th. Tyler Reddick finished in 6th, a very solid run for Tyler Reddick. Reddick had a top 5 car in the beginning, kind of fell back a little bit due to that speeding penalty, but recovers to finish 6th. Solid run from him. Denny Hamlin finishes 7th. Denny Hamlin had about a 5th to 6th place car at best. Didn't have as good of a car as Truex, and I thought Hamlin was going to be a little stronger today, but he does get a solid top 10 finish in 7th place. Bubba Wallace finishes 8th. A decent run for Bubba Wallace today. I don't think he collected any stage points today, but he just overall ran top 10, top 15 a majority of the day. They did fix that brake shake issue. It was really causing him issues. And that's Bubba's first top 10, I think, in quite a bit. So good to see Bubba Wallace end up finishing in top 10 in 8th place. They'll take that, and because of that, they're back above the cutoff line. They got to have runs like today and start scoring more stage points if they're going to have a chance to make the playoffs this season. Austin Dillon finished 9th. Austin was nowhere near a top 10 car, but they played a really good strategy call, and it really benefited them because they get a very solid top 10 finish. They'll take that. I think that's Austin Dillon's only 5th top 10 finish of 2023. So good to see Austin Dillon finish 9th. And Chase Briscoe finished 10th. I think that's Chase Briscoe's first top 10. He might have got one of the street course. I can't remember exactly. But Briscoe, good run for him today. He really played a strategy call that helped out. But they were improving as day progressed. And you know what? Just solid day overall for SHR, both Briscoe and Harvick. Eric Jones finished 11th. They were not going to finish up there with that caution coming out for his teammate. But you know what? They got benefited from it. And they get a very solid top 15 finish. Solid run for Eric Jones in 11th place. Chase Elliott finishes 12th. That's not a bad run for Chase Elliott, but just never was a big factor. It's about the best he ran pretty much all day long. Just that 9-car struggled, and I think at this point, he's got to win a race with 6 races to go and not getting a lot of points on the cutoff line. I think at this point, he's got to look at trying to win a race. Otherwise, he's going to miss the playoffs here, which will be the first time he's missed the playoffs in his Cup Series career. Just not a great day for Chase Elliott. He finished 12th. He needed to run a little better than that. I thought he'd run a little better today, and overall, just not a great day for Chase Elliott. Michael McDowell finished 13th. He was really fast in practice, so I thought he'd run a little better today than he did. And he had a top 10 car, just got stuck behind traffic, took 4 tires near the end, and cost him a great run. But you know what? 13th place is not bad, all things considered. The 34 team is definitely consistently a pretty solid team this year. He finished 13th. Alex Bowman finished 14th. Solid comeback for this team. This is Bowman's best run he's had in New Hampshire in a long time. So for him to finish in the top 15 in New Hampshire is not bad, all things considered. But at one point at 25th place. But you know what? A decent recovery in 14th. Chris Buescher finished 15th. Solid run for him. Daniel Suarez finished 16th. Was able to make up a little bit of ground, I think. Daniel Suarez was not really fast today. But you know what? 16th is not terrible, all things considered. But he's going to have to run better if he's going to want to make the playoffs this year. Justin Haley finished 17th. Decent run for him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 18th. AJ Allmendinger finishes 19th. And Harrison Burton finished 20th. Harrison Burton actually should have finished better than he did. I think he had about a 10th to 15th place car, so he had a decent run going. But he does get a top 20 finish. Todd Gillen finished 21st. Solid run for him. Ryan Blaney finished 22nd. I think Ryan Blaney had a top-tier, top-3 car for the most part. Unfortunately, he had a bad pit stop. It cost him a shot. He ran over the air hose. That's on him, unfortunately. The air hose was in front of him, and he ran over it. Because of that, he finished 22nd. Ross Chastain finished 23rd. I'll tell you, outside of his run and winning at Nashville, he has been irrelevant since Darlington. This has not had a great stretch. They need to turn the season around if they're going to be a championship running contender. Not a great day for Ross Chastain in 23rd place. William Byron finished 24th. That's going to be the first time William Byron's been really off this season. It was kind of odd because they were good in the beginning, but I think they had a bad strategy call that cost him a shot. Just not a great day. And he had some damage too from the Haley incident. That didn't help as well, but he finished 24th. Austin Cindric finished 25th. Just not a good day for Austin Cindric. Ty Dillon gets in our top 30 in 26th place. Ty Gibbs, after basically having his issues, he finished 27th. He was fast early, but kind of faded as day went on. Ryan Preece finished 20th. I thought he run stronger today. He was in the top 15 and 20, but unfortunately, they had issues. I think they got crashed or something. I'm not entirely sure. He finished 28th. Cristobal, after crashing out, finished 29th. This should have been a day where they should have won. They cost themselves a shot by getting the outside wall. Just making mistakes on pit road also cost them as well. Can't have days like that. And Ryan Newman finishes in the top 30 and 30th place. Good to see Newman back behind the wheel. Obviously, be running the SRX race on Thursday, but Newman finishes in the top 30. BJ McLeod finished 31st. Noah Gragson finished 32nd. Corey LaJoie actually got back out on the racetrack, so he still doesn't have a DNF this year. The only driver in the Cup Series has ran the full season that doesn't have a DNF. He finished 33rd. Eric Almirola finished 34th. Cole Custer finished 35th after crashing out. And Kyle Busch, after I thought would have a good day, qualified 10th, but unfortunately started at the rear. Never had a great day. He finishes 36th. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score of today's race. Normally, when Mark Truex Jr. dominates races, I think they tend to be pretty boring. But I will say this was one of the better races that I've watched where Mark Truex Jr. is dominating. Yes, Mark Truex Jr. like 254 laps, and it was really tough to beat him. But I think the racing behind Mark Truex Jr. for the most part was actually outstanding. I think NBC did overall do a pretty good job covering the battles, and I feel like that's what's really helped this race was their coverage, in my opinion. I think they did miss the Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney battle, which is unfortunate because I heard that battle was really, really good. They should have caught that. But that probably made the race a little better for me. But for a race that Mark Truex Jr. dominated, like I said, I thought it was solid. I'll give this race overall a 7.8 out of 10 for his number they used to run the 78 car. Again, I thought it was solid. I feel like New Hampshire has become a pretty decent track overall. I'll give today's race a 7.8 out of 10. It's just that Mark Truex Jr. dominating, had just an incredible car today that no one was going to touch him until Logano had a chance. So, that is good for today's NASCAR Race to Cup Series race review from New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Crayon 301. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Notifications on as I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links go below with that, and comment your thoughts on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race in New Hampshire? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate Mark Truex Jr. on picking up the victory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we'll have race picks for the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series race at Pocono Raceway. Then Wednesday, we'll have a NASCAR news video. Then on Thursday, we'll have race picks for the Cup race at Pocono. And then Friday, there should be another NASCAR news video on the channel. Also, Thursday, will be the SRX race from Stafford Race Review that'll be on the channel as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. And I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.